How's it going, everybody? If you would, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I keep clearing my throat constantly every time I start these videos, but yeah. I got a review for you, and this is a movie from Marvel Studios, Fantastic Four: First Steps. The new Fantastic Four film, Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige production. So this stars Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, uh, Joseph Quinn, who plays Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, and Eben Moss Bachrach, I believe is his name, who plays uh, Ben Grimm, aka the Thing. And this also stars Julia Garner uh, as as the Silver Surfer. I think her name was Shala Ball or something like that, as if they called her in the movie Shala Ball. And you have Ralph Ineson, who does the voice for Galactus. Uh, so, so as you probably know, or if you didn't know, so this Fantastic Four has a not so good history, or a very interesting history, if you will. As you probably already know, it's been a while, and it seemed honestly hopeless that we're ever going to get a good Fantastic Four movie. I didn't see the Roger Cormick one. I heard that one was pretty bad. Just seeing it, I know it's an old movie, came out in the 90s, but the effects look terrible, the costumes look terrible, and I think Roger McCormick, since Roger McCormick or whatever, since then he has passed away recently. So we have had two fantastic, no, I'm sorry, we had three Fantastic Four films after that. And just and it was the fact that Marvel had given up the rights to Fantastic Four to 20th Century Fox. And 20th Century Fox, they made, they made three Fantastic Four films. Of course, they made the two that were directed by Tim Story, uh, which those were not good movies. I know those starred like Chris Evans, who now plays, Captain America. Jessica Alba, she was the Invisible Woman. I think his name is Eon Gruffudd. I could never pronounce that guy's name. He played Reed Richards, and not a very good Reed Richards, by the way. And then you have Michael Chiklis, who was in that shitty orange plastic costume. That thing looked awful, and he played Ben Grimm. So I'm actually glad they got Ben Grimm right in this one with the CG, the technology that has just gotten better over time, and we're actually able to CG a more accurate Ben Grimm. Uh, so those were my problem with those two movies. Was it just felt like uh, it felt like they really didn't have a script for those movies, and it just felt honestly like they had nothing for there were no stakes, right? There were no stakes. There was just nothing for the Fantastic Four to go up against. So for about a good hour and some change, you just had them fumbling around, basically doing goofy shit until the end of the movie, and or until they fought whoever the villain was at the time. I think um, Doctor Doom in the first movie, who I didn't care for his Doom. And then in the second movie, the best thing about that movie was the Silver Surfer, who was voiced by I can't remember who the actor who played the Silver Surfer, but I know it was voiced by Lawrence Fishburne. Uh, and then Galactus was in that movie too, but he was just like some big some big ass purple cloud in the sky with glowing eyes. So at least we don't have none of that here. We actually do have a Galactus in this movie. So uh, what this one is, and we can't forget the really shitty Josh Trank one, which I just have not seen. And I might actually go back and review the other I was actually thinking about going to review the Fantastic Four movies, but those are going to be spoilers too. Those are going to be spoil filled because I mean we've already seen them. I mean they're old at this point. All of the last three are. So now we have a new Fantastic Four movie, directed by I think his name is Matt Shankman. I believe it was Matt Shankman, and he so this is the same guy that directed WandaVision for Marvel. He did the WandaVision miniseries, which I really did enjoy. WandaVision for maybe half of it. I enjoyed half of that show, but I will say like as far as uh so I, with him helming to direct this movie, uh I honestly thought this was a good idea because I'm like, if you want a good Fantastic Four movie, give it back to Marvel. And I've been advocating for this for a very long time. I was like, give it back to Marvel. Marvel knows what they're doing. Give it back to Marvel. 20th Century Fox doesn't know what they're doing with the Fantastic Four. So it was cool to actually that they lost the rights and then finally gave it back because they did that really garbage movie with Josh Trank, and that was a disaster. So with this movie, uh, we do get an origin story. You know the origin story of Fantastic Four, how they formulated. But what I like about this movie is they zip through that. They don't. They and that's what I liked about Marvel. Marvel, they do give you the backdrop, the origin story of how they became the Fantastic Four, how everybody knows who they are, the whole world, basically the entire city knows who they are, and they applaud them basically. They they get the origin story out the way. They don't waste time, and that's what I actually did like about this because I was kind of tired of seeing the origin story to the Fantastic Four. Let's move on from the origin story. Marvel knows this, and they show it in like quick montages, a quick montage, and they show how like they defeated. They give you a quick montage of who the Fantastic Four is, their powers, all the villains they faced up to this point, and I actually like this. And another thing I like about this movie is the way it looks. This is amazing because the cartoon itself takes place. The original Fantastic Four cartoon was a 1960s cartoon, which they do show throughout the movie too. People are actually watching the 1960s cartoons. So that was like a cool little reference to it. Because at this point, the Fantastic Four is famous. And this is in a 1960s type aesthetic. So it's like one of those. It's like one of those 1960s type sci-fi sci-fi type movies you watch, where everything looks colorful. Everything is like wooden. I'm sorry, I'm gonna sit up a little bit so I can. Or, yeah, everything's like wood. Everything's like wooden or whatever. Like the and even like the sci-fi stuff. It looks like that colorful 60s type sci-fi like equipment that you see and stuff like that. All the robotics and stuff. And the whole story basically is so Fantastic Four. They're like they basically have done it all. You know, uh, bit or Sue Storm and Reed Richards. They have a child together. You know, she gets pregnant. You know, life is going good until Silver Surfer comes down, and that's where everything changes. You know, she announces to everyone, she's like, "Look, you know, Galactus is coming soon. He's going to devour your world, and you're basically y'all better figure out what you're gonna do because you're fucked, basically in so many words. So so the Fantastic Four, uh, not only they go to confront them, basically there's a really hard sacrifice that they have to make, and that's what I like about this one. This is where I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, because now my again my problem with the original Fantastic Four movies, the last few, was the fact that there were no stakes. I felt like the writers and directors that came before Matt Shankman is Matt Shankman is there were no stakes basically. The Fantastic Four really didn't have anything to do. Just bumble around, do goofy, basically just do a lot of goofy hijinks or whatever until they have to fight the villain at the end. This one actually keeps you on your toes, and then I like how everyone's developed in here too. Um, Even Sue Storm. Sue Storm is like she's like the oh my goodness, she's like the ultimate like mom figure in here, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you watch the movie. Um, she is like the ultimate, like she has a ultimate mom moment in here. Because there was a point where uh Galactus coming down even turns the city against the heroes, and it's almost like she just chastises the the entire city, like watch what what are you guys doing, to where they're like, shit, I mean, maybe she's right, and I actually did like that. It was there's actually some really good memorable moments throughout this movie, which is shocking considering Marvel's kind of had like a kind of an iffy track record. uh I know I reviewed the last Captain America movie that came out on my channel. Wasn't a big fan of it. So I think if Marvel's building up to this Avengers thing, or if they're building up to this new X-Men thing, I think this is the track they need to stay on. Um, I thought Pedro Pascal was good. Of course, Pedro Pascal's good. The entire team was really good, to be honest with you. They actually worked like a family dynamic. They were like a family. Um, Even Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, he's obnoxious, he's like that obnoxious ladies man basically throughout the whole movie, and I just like how they put that together. And this movie just works, man. It is. This movie did shock me. Like this is if I have any complaints, it is still the Marvel formula. Uh, you know what you're getting into. You know how it's gonna end, basically. You know exactly how the movie's gonna end. Like I said again, it's Marvel using their formula, but this is work for the Marvel formula when it's done right, and this is Marvel doing the formula right. So I mean, I have other than that, I really have no complaints. The special effects are really good in this. Galactus looks amazing in here. He's actually menacing. Um, Especially when you see certain scenes with him too. He's just a really dangerous villain. And again, like I said, with the other Fantastic Four movies, there were no high stakes. There was never a point where you felt like the city was in danger or you felt like the Fantastic Four was in danger. And Mark Shackman does a really good job of showing that. And and basically having you in suspense the entire time you're watching the movie. Uh, like I say, I can't if we're getting another Fantastic Four movie and this is the direction we're going in, uh, with this stinger, which works. Oh my goodness, this is actually a good Marvel stinger. So yeah, this one's really good. I'm not. It's not a perfect movie, but it is like a huge step in the right direction for Marvel. I'm going to definitely give this one a solid recommend. This one's a solid. Not going to go high, not going to go perfect. Because, like I said again, it just follows the Marvel formula um, for a Marvel film. But I will say this is the best thing they've put out in a very long time. I've got to applaud them. So this is definitely going to be a solid recommend for me. So what did you think about Marvel's Fantastic Four First Steps? Was this the best movie you've seen this year? Uh, as I will say, as far as superhero films go, because I don't think we had any other superhero films that came out this year besides this one and Superman, which I will review too. But yeah, this is a really solid Marvel film. So definitely, if you like the review, you can comment and tell me what you thought about Fantastic Four First Steps, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.